Obviously, we are looking carefully at that the court ruling to understand what the path forward is. As we've said from the very beginning, you can't make a choice between something that's good for the environment or good for the economy. Canadians expect us to do them both together. And building a strong, resilient economy for the future means taking into account relationship and partnership with Indigenous peoples and full reconciliation. And it also means making sure that the science and environmental protections are world class. The court ruling indicated that we still have a little more work to do in those particular areas. That's exactly what we're looking at, what we need to do in order to get this project done the right way. We know all we have to do is look at the headlines to understand that being a prisoner to the United States for our resource exports, knowing that right now we only have one market, the U.S., for our oil exports, is simply not a wise strategy for Canadians moving forward. We need to get new markets for our oil resources, and that means opening up in responsible, sustainable ways to the Pacific Ocean. But again, we're going to take that court ruling and look at how we need to do that in the responsible way, in partnership with Indigenous peoples and with world-class science on the environment.
And for my follow, if you'd permit me to invite Premier Horgan to the mic, would that be allowable?
Sure, of course.
Premier, thank you very much. Just in a follow to that, here in BC, we're very familiar with your position and long-time position when it comes to the pipeline. Still getting questions from outside of the province, though. People asking, what, if anything, would it take for, say, the federal government to offer our government that may make you change your position on the pipeline?
It's never been about a negotiation from my perspective. The Prime Minister and I have been working together now for 14 months with different perspectives on this one issue. The court laid out fairly clearly the deficiencies. The Prime Minister's highlighted those. I don't have much more to add to that. But I think the symbolism of the two of us standing together here talking with great excitement about how we as two levels of government can work with the people of British Columbia for better outcomes is really what both of us are involved in public life for in the first place. The court was clear, in my opinion. The federal government will look at the ruling and take the actions they believe appropriate. For me, I'm going to continue to work with my federal colleagues. My colleagues in the legislature will look across the mountains to our friends in Ottawa for support on the things that we can agree on, and they are very, very many, and the things we disagree on are very, very few.
Thank you. And stay here. There might be more questions. But I will say that, this is a great example in terms of the announcement we're making. Both of our governments understand that listening to local voices, responding to the extraordinary hard work done by the Mayor's Council on establishing what their communities needed and being there as partners for what was needed on the ground is very much our philosophy. But even when it comes to bigger questions of energy and environment, John and I are very much aligned. Both of us understand the need for reconciliation and partnership with Indigenous peoples. Both of us understand the need for world-class science and protection of the environment while we develop our economies. There's always going to be areas where we see things differently, but our capacity to work together on a values basis is exactly what British Columbians and indeed all Canadians expect as we move forward to build a better future for us all.